Hey guys, Louis Allen here. So in this video I wanted to show you a few kind of chromatic-y jazz fusion licks in the style of Scott Henderson or Wayne Krantz. So the video of me playing at the beginning of this video, I'll show you a few licks that I played from there. So yeah, let's just jump straight in. So we'll do all these licks in D minor, and like I say, I don't really know what I'm doing but I think these licks kind of sound cool, so I'll just talk you through kind of how to play them and stuff, and but mainly most of them will just kind of work over like a D minor kind of vamp. But anyway, let's jump into the first one. So the first one, all these licks will be in that little piece I played at the beginning of the video, so we'll go through a few of those from that. So the first one sounds like this. So it's kind of a chromatic thing coming down from the F there. So yeah. So you start. I put my middle finger there to start with, and then it's a big old chromatic one. And you kind of run down from there. So. So when you slow it down, it sounds not that great, but up to speed, it sounds pretty cool. If you've kind of play around with some other little bluesy licks and then whip into that, it sounds pretty cool. So you could do like a yeah, just kind of spice it up. And I love the chromatic sound as well. I really enjoy those. They're really good fun to play, and I think they sound really cool if they're nailed properly. So I'll play that a few more times for you. Really doesn't sound that good when you slow it down. And what's quite kind of cool as well is if you kind of almost palm mute them a little bit and make them really percussive, like players like, especially Wayne Krantz, who's one of my absolute favourite guitarists. He plays really percussively and makes it sound super interesting. So one more time. You'll notice I'm kind of like kicking my finger as well to kind of sort of half bend it as well, which sounds quite cool with some things. It's quite a nice one on the B note. And it doesn't matter, like, I fluffed a few of the notes there, but it kind of doesn't matter because you hint towards coming down that chromatic scale, so it's, again, it's all jazz, I guess. So that was the first one. The second lick that I want to show you, again, was in the first video, so you can kind of listen to that for sort of context. If you're playing like a D minor thing, it actually works really well. If you ever hear in sort of jazz blues, Robin Ford uses this kind of thing quite a lot. So if you're there and you hear this, that kind of thing, so it'll be like, it's a really great thing to play over that B flat 9 kind of shape. So basically what you're doing is you're putting in that, it's called the blues note really, and what you do is you put that, instead of kind of, normally you just kind of glance past that as like a passing note. But this time I'm making a feature of it, and I'm actually playing it twice in different octaves. Play it again for you. And another thing with this is the phrasing of it's quite important as well. Otherwise, if you just go, I mean, it still sounds quite cool there, but I really like the phrasing of this lick, so I'll slow it down. That's your first bit, and I flatten my third finger off this. So you're kind of repeating yourself going down in a kind of repetitive pattern. Okay, so. And again. couple more times for you. Like I say, on their own they sound a bit weird, but like up to speed if you're kind of messing around with some other little bluesy bits. They're just nice to throw in, just to kind of tweak the ear a little bit. So this is the third lick that I'm going to show you. This is like a chromatic run down from up from near the 10th fret basically. So what I do is I'll play it first. It's a little bit awkward for the fingers, but it's it sounds really cool, and it's really rewarding when you nail it. So I'll slow it down a bit. There's a couple of repeat notes in there. So up to speed again. So start with your middle finger on the 10th fret on the B string. That's the first move of it. And the second move. So the second part of it goes like this. So there's a lot of going back on yourself here as well. Slow that down a little bit more. Okay, and with the next bit. So we're still in D minor. So again, slower. And there's quite a nice way of finishing this lick as well, I'll show you. Just literally straight down the minor scale. Now this is actually a Wayne Krantz lick that I totally borrowed, but I'll never give back. So a couple more times. And again, intertwine them with regular blues licks and then you're onto a winner, I think. So the fourth fusiony jazz lick I'm going to show you, based around the 10th fret pentatonic D shape, sounds like this. Now the licks I'm showing you are quite small, they're not big licks at all, but my personal belief when soloing is to, rather than playing huge licks and waiting for your moment to play those licks, you know, there's a big chance of you messing those licks up. So what I like to do is keep licks quite small and compact so that when you're kind of messing around, you know, I like to flick between melodic kind of like kind of normal blues kind of vocal sounding stuff, and then put in like a little more techie lick in there and build those techie licks together, like just in smaller formats to create bigger licks, if that makes sense. Again, have a listen to the track at the beginning of this video to see what I mean. All of those licks that I'm playing are small licks that I've put together so that then I can interchange them with themselves, and then so your licks sound different, if that makes sense. But anyway, so back to this lick. So what you do with this lick is start up on the 13th fret with your third finger and just come straight down the pentatonic scale there. And then what you do is your first finger moves back to here. So you'll go. Okay, so one more time. And then what you do is you go. So that bit is. Which sounds absolutely beautiful on its own. So slowed down, it sounds like this. Slightly slower. and then you can finish it off. So a couple more times. So a couple more times. Okay, so that was the fourth lick I wanted to show you. So the fifth and final lick that I want to show you is, again, it's chromatic, but you kind of, what people like Scott Henderson and Wayne Krantz do is they'll take a pattern and they'll move it a semitone back and move it a semitone back again until they find their place back in the scale. So they'll do things like so they'll start in the scale and they'll just be like an I guess it's called outside playing, really. So yeah, basically what I'm doing here is so again, all in that pentatonic 10th fret D minor scale. You'll start with your first finger on the 9th fret on the G, and you'll go. Okay, so. That's your first bit. So I'll play that again for you. Slow it down for you. And again, when you play them slowed down, they do sound pretty terrible, really. But up to speed, they sound really cool. So you might want to slow the video down or keep sort of nudging it back to find the patterns. But essentially, what I'm doing is I'm moving this pattern, which is like the major scale, really, and I'm moving that backwards. Okay, so I'll play it a few more times for you, slowed down. And the last part of that lick, all I'm doing really is I'm straight back into the minor scale. So however you want to kind of end that lick. So slow down entirety together. Couple more times for you. So I'll play that again a few more times, slowed down and then sped up. Well, that's it from my video on jazz fusiony chromatic-y licks in the style of Wayne Krantz or Scott Henderson. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe to the video, discuss in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.